There was once someone who did such amazing things and said such wonderful things that people had to ask who he really was. Once, when they asked, he said, "I am the light." I see the love of God in you, the light of Christ comes shining through, and I am blessed to be with you, O holy child of God. The one that said, "I am the light," changed to be in all places at all times. See this light? How it's just in one place? Let's change the light. Look, the light's changed. It's growing, becoming invisible, filling the room with the light of Christ. As you go about this room today, know that the light is there. And when you leave this room today, know that you take the light with you wherever you go. Now watch carefully. Are you ready? You need to be ready for this lesson. This is the story of the prophet Ezekiel's visions. But what is a prophet? Prophets are people who come so close to God, and God comes so close to them that they know what God wants. Ezekiel was a prophet to the people in exile in Babylon. The exiles would gather by the river to worship God. They didn't know if God would find them in this strange land, so they often faced towards Jerusalem and the temple where they knew God was. One day, while gathered at the river with the other exiles, Ezekiel had a vision. He saw a storm coming. In the clouds, there were 4 creatures. They looked like men, but had wings. Each one had 4 different faces, all different animals. When they moved their wings, it sounded like thunder. Each creature had a wheel within a wheel. The wheels seemed almost alive. When Ezekiel looked up, he saw God sitting on a throne, being carried by these 4 creatures. Ezekiel was afraid and fell to the ground. God spoke to Ezekiel, saying, "Son of man, stand up upon your feet, and I will speak with you." And the Spirit of God entered Ezekiel and lifted him up onto his feet. And God said, "Son of man, eat what I give you. Eat this scroll, so that my words may live in you." And Ezekiel ate the scroll and found it to be sweet like honey. When this vision was only the first one he had. Before this time, his time as a prophet was over. He had about 50 more visions. At first, most of the messages Ezekiel brought to the exiles were about the coming destruction of Jerusalem. Later, they were about hope for God's people. One time, God told Ezekiel to take a brick while it was still wet and draw a map of Jerusalem on it. Then he put the brick on the ground so everyone could see, and he put a toy army around it, ready to take over the city. Ezekiel did this to show that Jerusalem would be destroyed by the Babylonians. There were many more prophecies of the destruction of Jerusalem and its temple, and all of them came true. The city crumbled. There was little left. After Jerusalem was destroyed, God began to send messages of hope to his people through the prophet Ezekiel. One of them was about a shepherd. Ezekiel told the people that sometimes shepherds are not like the good shepherd. They are not even like the ordinary shepherd. They are bad. But God will come and rescue the people from the bad shepherds. God says, I myself will be the shepherd of the people and will bring them into their own land. One day, another message of hope came to Ezekiel. He told the people that God would sprinkle clean water upon them when he brings them home to Jerusalem to cleanse them from all of their wrongdoings. A new heart I will give you, says God, and a new spirit I will put in you. You will be my people, and I will be your God. Yet, another time, God showed Ezekiel a pile of dry bones. God breathed new life into them, and they became alive. Like God's people were going to come alive. God said, I will put my spirit in them, and they will live. Ezekiel died in exile. He had witnessed the loss and destruction of his beloved city. But he also saw a beautiful vision of a people living in a restored city who were content. This city would be called The Lord is There. I wonder what part of the story you like best. I wonder what part of the story is most important. I wonder, is there anything we can take away from this story and still have everything that we need? I wonder where you see yourself in this story. I wonder, will you think of this story today? Or maybe some other. But whatever you do today, know that you take the light of Christ with you wherever you go.